What is going on, Deadwood? Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. What's up, Savages? I ain't gonna lie. The more I dive into this whole restricted assets, tags on the Ravencoin network, especially with the, I'm like sitting like super low here. I'm really exhausted. I had racquetball tonight, and I'm super tired. Anyway, so the more I dive into this, I don't know if the use case that we're trying to use with Serpent and the auto shop. I mean, I'm gonna make it work, but what we were kind of working on last night isn't. I don't think it's really gonna make sense to use all of the features of restricted assets and tags. So I'm going to have to kind of revamp the whole scenario and maybe come up with a little something different in order to make it make sense. It just wasn't jiving with me. So we're gonna look at this. I will I've got the presentation and all that, you know, what we were kind of working on last night. So I've done some modifications and stuff, so you'll see it right after this. So before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at the market. The market is red a little bit, not too bad. I mean, you know, you kind of expect a little pullback once you know, you've had such a good run lately. Although, I mean, BTC is losing dominance like crazy. It used to be, it was hitting 70, 71. Now it is, you know, it stuck around 67 for a really long time, and now it's all the way down to 61.7, which means that normally what that means, and some people disagree with this, but I think that what that means is a little bit of money is flowing from BTC into alts, right? The BTC dominance is kind of an indicator of that, and you can kind of see that happening because you've got market cap of 300 billion, and then the volume is really high on that total market cap. And yeah, I mean, and you've got some alts that have been doing well. I mean, today again is a little red, but nothing major in my opinion. And then as far as the coins that we keep an eye on, Raven is down just a tad. Aeon is still doing well, and Rio and Zell are a little red as well. I don't know how much is, yeah, just a little bit. I mean, that's such a small pullback. You can't even really call it much other than just standard, you know, a little bit of profit taking maybe. You know, that's about it. Anyway, all right. So let's look at the presentation. I call it a presentation, but you know what I mean. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. And get back to the start. All right. So here's what we were kind of working on, just to kind of get it into my head and, you know, viewers' heads of how this actually works. And we were using Serpent as an example. He's a friend of mine, you know, another YouTuber, fellow YouTuber, and he's into cars and stuff. So this was kind of like his thing. You know, we were kind of kicking around the idea of coming up with a use case for restricted assets on the Ravencoin network using some type of an auto repair shop kind of thing. And this is what we came up with so far. I did change around the scenario a little bit, but basically Serpent owns an authorized service center that also services the kind of rare Subaru WRX STI S209, and Subaru tracks those S209s in the USA using an asset, a main asset on the Ravencoin network called Subaru USA. And then underneath of Subaru USA, and I have to say this, if I would have done this again, or if I were to do this again, I would create a main asset called Subaru, then a sub asset called USA, because, you know, Subaru is all over the world, so you would have Subaru and then sub assets for each region, right? It would make more sense than to have a top level Subaru USA asset, right? In my opinion, I don't know. I think kind of logically, whenever I do like naming conventions or asset creation, I try to think of a logical, like if you were to look at it, you would instantly understand where the asset existed, who owns it, you know, all that stuff, or who created it. So anyway, if I was to redo it, I would separate that out and have two different assets, Subaru and then USA. Anyway, so then they underneath of the USA, Subaru USA asset, they create sub assets, or there is a sub asset for the model, the make and model, or the model of the car. And then underneath there is a sub asset for each 209. So you've got S01, and actually, you know what? I think that should be called a unique asset. I think I created that. Let's go check. I think I created it as a unique asset, because the actual asset for the 209 should be unique, right? So here's the sub asset. This should be considered a unique. Where can I see that? I don't see where it says unique anywhere. Let's see here. So if we go to transactions, it burned 100. So that would make it, I'm sure there's a way of, yeah, you know what? I messed this up because it does say sub asset right here. These should have been unique, because you don't want duplicate assets. So anyway, I guess I kind of messed that up. Now we could go and burn all these and just recreate them. Let's see here. I mean, I guess I can leave it like that, but that's kind of weird. I wonder why. I must have been rushing through it, because I know that it should have been an actual unique address, or a unique asset, and it would have been only 5 for each one. That's the way I should have done it. Yeah, I messed that up, because you really want your actual car number. Like this would be a VIN, or it could be referencing a specific vehicle, right? One of a kind vehicle that has a serial number or a VIN number. Then you would want it to be a unique asset. Let's see if we can burn these. I haven't done it before, so I want to see if we can actually do it. And again, this is on testnet. This is not, you can see that up here. See testnet, not on the actual Ravencoin network. All right, let's see if we can burn these and clean this up, because this is kind of a mess the way that I did this. So I want to copy that address for the S001. I'm going to send it. Yeah, how would I do this? Let's see. Send. Oh, I got to go to the, hang on a second, manage assets. All right, hang on. Transfer assets, maybe. So if I go to the first one, pay to, all right, so that's the asset that we want to get rid of. We can also do the admin asset. All right, let's sorry, I wanted to play around with this. Let's do it. So we need a burn address for a sub asset. That's what we need. So we're going to send it to an address on the network that basically just does away with it. So we're going to copy this. This is the address you send it to. See if this works. Let's see if I can just burn the admin asset. All right, let's see. So I'm just sending it to a burn address. That's all I'm doing. No, it doesn't like that. Warning transferring admin asset. I wonder if you have to do this one first. It's not gonna let me do that. All right. Maybe I have one. Okay, so I do not know how to burn these assets. I think you should be able to, though. Let me check the chat, see if y'all are yelling at me why. Jay Bohannon, that is... It shouldn't have charged you a transaction fee. But I get those too. I get those in my my wallets also. Basically, it's like I think if you were to look it up, it's probably some type of. It's almost like a spam request, not a request, but it's like to let you know. Like I could fire up my my actual Ravencoin wallet, and I've had all kinds of people send me stuff. And that I didn't ask for. I don't know what they are. There's a way of turning it off, and I think you can deny, somehow set it up to deny those addresses. But I do not know how to burn this asset, though. That's for sure. And maybe. Reissue. I thought I would be able to just transfer it. Oh, now it's lit to where I can actually click it. No, it's still not going to go. You know what? These might not be testnet burn addresses. I bet these are actual. That's probably the situation. So I need a testnet burn address. Let me see if I can look it up in their Discord here. I mean, I suppose we could see what the burn address is, because when you create it, you know, it also burns that Raven too. So we could probably just get it that way. I think I might have found them. Go over here. Alright, so let's try this one. Kind of have a feeling this is going to work. Hey, look at that. Yeah, so the other burn addresses were for the actual network, or the mainnet. Alright, now we need to grab. What else do we need to grab? Manage assets, nope. Transactions. We need to grab, I did this one, I think, right? I wonder how it handles the admin asset of each sub asset. I would imagine that you got to burn it separately, but I don't know. We'll do the S002 now. Whoops. I think I copied the wrong thing. I don't need that. I need to have this on the clipboard. We're going to burn this one. Just one. All right. Then we're going to burn this last one. All right, so now we don't have anything under this sub asset, right? At least I don't think so. If we go to manage assets, we still have these are probably the admin, I guess. So we probably need to do those too. Let's go in here, transfer assets, transfer admin asset. Yeah, see, now they're in here as admin assets. We need to do these two. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. Yeah, this whole scenario is pretty intense, and it's kind of, I want a really good use case, you know, and to kind of develop on and to look at and talk about. And it's just really difficult because there's the more you get into the restricted assets and tags, the deeper you get, it gets crazy. So once you start thinking about all the capabilities and how it can be implemented, it gets pretty intense really fast. So that's why I wanted to do a, you know, a stream, you know, several streams about it so that we can like build an actual use case. All right, so all that's getting burned. You see the little question marks over here, so and the timers. So you have to wait until there's a check mark, and that means that they're actually gone, right? So right now it's all synchronizing with the testnet network and everything. But I think that we should be able to go ahead and create the unique assets underneath of here. I don't know why I didn't do this before. So this will be S001. And you see you can't make it reissuable because you can't change the quantity, right? It's unique on the network, and you can't increase the number of them. So like a unique, I don't think I have the definition for a unique asset, but if I were to have the unique asset definition here so far, I've been building a little glossary here too, is it would be, you know, a one of. So it would represent something that there's only one of, like a, you know, bar of gold, a specific, you know, a painting, one specific type of art, one device, one GPU, like in my example. That's what a unique address is for, or a unique asset. So because of that, you can see right here, whenever you're creating it, there's no way of changing any of this. You can't increase the number, you can't make it reissuable, which all this means is you can't increase the number, right? You can send the asset from one person to another, so don't think that reissuable means that you can't send it. You can still send it. And then add IPFS or transaction ID hash. So, you know, you could add interplanetary file system hash like we did with the GPU example. Anyway, so this is the way we should have done it originally. I don't know why I didn't. So I think you have to click check availability over here, and then we're going to create asset, and it cost 100, I think, right? No, 5. That's right. 5. It only costs 5 Raven. So we're going to create an asset here, and this is going to make much more sense than having sub assets, because sub assets are not what we need. So I'm doing 2. I'm going to do 3 because that's what's in all my little documentation so far. But I got to change this to unique asset underneath of the S209. Check availability. Create. Yes. Okay. Unique asset S003. Check. Create. Yes. Okay. So now we can look at transactions. We're going to see all this with question marks here that we just did. And then basically our goal here is to get an asset that we are going to transfer to the Ravencoin wallet. So now he is going to, hypothetically own S001 of the Subaru WRX S209. Where's this at? He's going to own S001 unique token, unique asset, underneath of, which identifies him as owning the first edition, or the first, the first off the assembly line, whatever, STI S209 WRX STI S209 from Subaru. So that's basically what we are going to work with. At least that's going to be part of our little scenario here. So once that's created, we probably have time. It's 9:54, so I think we'll probably have time to actually transfer it over to his Ravencoin address so that we'll be able to see it. So that would be cool. I think this is, yeah, this is Serpent, and then this is, I need to somehow document this. I wish that they had at least a way of telling what account this is, because I whenever you log on here, whenever you go into this interface and log on, you have to provide a email address and a password. So I wish that it just at least showed you what you're logged on as, right? Because I have 2 of them. I'm pretty sure that this is Serpent's address here, and then this is, or I'm sorry, this is Brandon's address, and then this is Serpent. So I'll have to check that. But anyway, let's see what's going on with our assets over here. So once this S001 gets built, I will be able to transfer it right away, or I should be able to transfer it right away to Ravencoin. It'll show up in here, and sometimes I've noticed I might have to close the wallet and reopen it to get them to actually show up in here. We'll see if that works. See how that works tonight. All right, I'm going to check the chat here. What's up, Jarrett? What's up, Jay Bohannon? Deadwood, Fold'em. What is going on, everybody? This stuff is interesting to me because I've been following, Ravencoin since mid 2018, probably about 6 months, 5 months after they launched, something like that. So watching this progress, down, and all these different features get implemented, and roadmap items being hit and all that stuff. It's cool to see a project that you've been interested in for that long, continue to develop what they said they were going to develop. And this is, and again, I said this last night, the restricted assets and tags and some of those other features were not in the original roadmap. This came along because they were like, hey, we really need to make our platform here the platform for issuing security token offerings, right? STOs. and then the whole SEC compliance and all that stuff that they were working on also. So this is, yeah, it's really cool. You know, I talked a lot last night about the price suppression based on assets cost, right? And I was just in their Discord poking around, and I see other people saying the same thing. You know, like an example would be if it costs $3,000 basically for a restricted asset, all the things that you need for a restricted asset, and Ravencoin was $10, then that would be, how much is that? $30,000, right? Am I doing my math right? Am I mathing right? 3,000 times 10, yeah, $30,000 is what it would cost to create a restricted asset. So who's going to be using that? But that's again, I said this last night too. That's kind of the point. Is, you know, the goal is to be a platform for you know, larger corporations and financial institutions and things like that. But you're definitely going to put, if the price goes up, you're definitely going to push all the little people out, right, from creating assets and actually using the platform for that. So I don't know how it's going to work out. That all remains to be seen. So we've got a check mark next to our S001. Asset, yeah, asset issued right here. All right, so that's our address. So now if we go to manage assets, it should show up, but it doesn't, right? So I think they are here though. They do show up under here. So that's cool. So what we'll do is maybe we'll just send it from here. See if this works. All right, so what we need is we need the address, the Ravencoin address of Brandon Coin, because he's the one that's going to own this car. So his address is somewhere in here. Right here. We're going to copy that address. Come over here to the wallet. Right click on the, actually no, left click on the, left click on the asset S001, which represents that very first S209. We're going to click send asset. And then we're going to paste in his address. And this is all testnet, okay? Now, would we also, we wouldn't transfer the administrator asset because we want our tracking to go through Subaru for who owns this asset, right? So we want Subaru, this sub asset right here, to actually manage who has the asset, right? So we don't want to give them transfer. We don't want to give them the administrator asset for S001. I don't think. All right, so we're gonna say Brandon Coin. We could throw a little label in here like a VIN number or something, right? We're gonna get more in depth into that, but we'll see how this is gonna work. It should just be one to give here. We're not going to do the IPFS just yet. We will once we get it on to his Ravencoin address, right? I think that, I mean, we could do it, and technically, realistically, if this was a real life thing, then you probably would have Subaru putting on, you know, data about the car. You know, I could see them including brochure, serial number, our VIN number, like on an official document with some type of digital signature, you know, all kinds of official documentation for the sale of this vehicle to Brandon Coin, right? So that's probably what they would include in the IPFS information. But just for our simplicity, we're just going to send it so that we can get it done before we go and check and switch over to Brandon Coin, which we're a couple minutes late because I've been rambling here. But I want to see if this actually goes. So we should be able to go back to his wallet here and maybe do a refresh. It shouldn't take that long to get here, I don't think. So what we should see is an asset actually show up under, whenever we click on assets, we should see it show up under here if I was to guess. I haven't done it yet, but I would assume that that is what happens. See, now it's hit the chain. Ravencoin has 1 minute block times, right? So you know, a block is mined every 1 minute. So it just depends on how many confirmations. It's got 2 of 6. So I would assume that it might show up over here now. No, it might have to get fully confirmed before it actually shows up. Let me check this other one, just make sure it's not. Yeah, pretty sure this is the right one. And you know what? I've been talking about this, and maybe because I'm using Brave browser, I wonder if like Chrome or another browser might operate a little bit different, because I can see right here I should be able to click on this, but nothing happens whenever I click on it. So maybe on a different browser it might show you the address. You know, earlier I was kind of slamming them for not showing the address, but it could just be my browser here. I don't know for sure, but you'll see if Brandon Coin's going to go live here. Yep. Okay, so we'll head over there in just a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay, so check it out. So now we have transferred the S001 asset to Brandon Coin. So now if we click on it, see, I guarantee you that there's probably on this one right here, see, nothing happens whenever I click on it. Something happens whenever I do click on that one. I'm thinking that maybe there's something going on there, and that it would actually show you the address. Anyway, I don't know. I'll test it on another browser, I guess. So now he has the asset here, so that is good. So this is just one little part of our overall. Oh, you're good, Serpent. Don't worry, man. We didn't even get very far because I was saying at the top that the more I get into it, our scenario that we're trying to build, our use case isn't working that great. So I've got to kind of massage it a little bit and work around to make things make sense. So I kind of changed things up a little bit. Maybe watch the first 5 minutes of the stream and you can understand what I did. It wasn't drastic, but it was just a few little changes. But what we just did, though, we burned some addresses because in the wallet, I created sub-assets instead of unique assets for each car, right? So you got S001 for the first one, S002 for the second car, 3, 4, so on. I only created 3 of them. But I had created sub-assets instead of unique assets, which didn't make any sense. Because a sub-asset, you know, you can transfer that around, and you can reissue like the number. It just did not make sense. So we ended up burning all those. You can see we sent them all to burn addresses here, the sub assets, and then we created unique assets for each one. So that was pretty cool doing that live for the first time ever. I've never done that before, so it took me a minute to figure it out. Wasn't too bad once I started using the right burn address, because the burn addresses I had were for mainnet, not testnet. So my bad. Anyway, let's go. We are 7 minutes late to Brandon Coin. Let's head over there. I will see you guys tomorrow night for Fireball Friday. We're probably going to just keep pressing forward with this thing. Maybe I'll have a little bit more time tomorrow to think about it and actually get the scenario set up properly. Today I was at work until 6, which was 4 hours after, well, about 3 hours after I'm supposed to leave. So I was working on some things I needed to work on, and then after that I had racquetball, so I didn't get home until really late. I didn't get home until 8 my time, so I only had a little bit of time to kind of start thinking about this because I hadn't really had a chance to think about it all day. So I think tomorrow's a good day for me to put some brain power towards it because it's Friday. So hopefully at work I'll be able to kind of, ponder on how this should be set up. But anyway, I know I'm just rambling. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody.